Welcome into Nuke the House. It is football day in America. What's going on, everybody? Alongside Keg, I'm Kush. We got a Monday night doubleheader that we're going to run down. We're going to talk about the week that was, or the weekend that was, on Sunday in the NFL. And I just want to thank Keg for last night. Boy, did we just crush it on another island game. We'll be live for both games tonight. But like you said last night, who else had Darnell Mooney at 6 and 7 catches at plus money? And it was so good that our guy Eddie in chat got us on Rashee Rice 2+ catches on like 4 or 5 drives at plus 400 and plus 350. So very profitable night. I'd expect the same tonight with 2 games. Mr. Keg, good morning, good afternoon. How the hell are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, buddy. 25 unit weekend for your boy.
Good.
So I can't complain. I cannot complain.
Nor should you. You should not complain at all. So these 2 games that we got coming up tonight, maybe not the sexiest, but the Bills and the Jaguars could be a good one. We actually liked the Jaguars before last week. They completely shit the bed, but the line in this game went from the Bills -5.5 to the Bills -4.5. A ton of money coming in on the Jaguars side with the spread. Total basically stayed the same here, Keg. We'll get to the Washington-Cincinnati game too, but the total stayed the same here at 46. Not too much movement. Maybe has gone up a point over the last week at some books, but how about these Bills and Jaguars? And before you break it down, here we go. Can we bet no touchdowns? We can bet no touchdowns, right?
Yeah, DK.
Most wagered on player props by total game money, James Cook, anytime touchdown. So I will not be betting that. Number 2, Travis Etienne, anytime touchdown. I will not be betting that. So those are 2 of the big bets. 80% of the money, 86% of the tickets on the Bills before all this money came in and moved the line down. So talk to me here, buddy. What are some of your thoughts on this Bills-Jaguars game in Buffalo, where Josh Allen no longer just has to be Superman? He's got a little bit of a defense. He's got a running game too.
Yeah, Buffalo probably has surprised me most so far this year in terms of exceeding my preseason expectation. They've looked better than I thought that they would by a decent amount. They're in top. I think they're like in the top 6 in offensive and defensive EPA per play, which is really, really solid. Only one of these teams has a bona fide MVP candidate in Josh Allen. Trevor Lawrence has not looked great through the first 2 weeks. He let us down against the Browns. But the one thing I will say, we thought that they were going to be very run heavy this year with James Cook. That was the case in week 1. But that was not the case in week 2. Now, did we go over the number in week 2 and hit the bet on James Cook? Yes. But he only had 11 carries for 80 yards. And the only reason why we hit that is because he broke a 50-yard run. So I don't know if they're going to be as run heavy as I thought they would this year. Through 2 weeks, it's a 1-1 kind of split. I think that the Bills are the side here, but I would like to not lay more than 3. So if we can get that in the in-game market, I'll be looking to get on the Bills. As far as the total, they've hung 31 and 34 the first 2 weeks. They're probably going to score points tonight against the Jags defense that has been probably average at best, I would say. So I think their team total is in play tonight, the Bills. Yeah. And I would not mind getting on them live if Jacksonville can get a quick score.
All right, so no bets yet in this game. That means we're going to be very active in the live betting market tonight, and we are live for the first game. So that one's starting at what, like 7:30? And then we get regular game, the regular Monday Night Football game with Washington at the Bengals coming up at 8:30. We will be live for both games. Keg and the crew are going to be on for the first maybe 45 minutes to 50 minutes before I show up. And then I'll sit down with you and we'll roll through the rest of the games. It's kind of fun having 2 on Monday Night Football. Now, if you want to get the pre-flop bets or you want to catch our premium shows behind the paywall, we got a deal for you. It's a free week. Why not sign up for it? NukeTheHouse.com. Sign up for any plan. We're not going to charge you. Just put in the code Nuke NFL, Nuke NFL, and we're set, man. That's about it. So if you dipped your toe in the water yesterday, you probably did pretty good, right? I mean, that was a spectacular, especially a Sunday night game, and our island games have just been crushing. So really excited about that. Want to give a shout out to everybody. God's masterpiece. Any teams you see leading by 7 points. So preferably an underdog. Yeah. So DK took what they did in baseball when you're up 2 runs, and they did it with 7 points here. And you can get, depending on how much you bet, a $10 bet to a $100 bet. So that's in there. What up, DB Gnarly?
Yeah, the Bills will be up a touchdown at some point in this game, I think.
Okay.
And so will the Bengals.
I don't love the money lines on them, but yeah, if that's what you think, maybe you can go that way. DB Gnarly has one more day as our member of the week. We got Maddie tomorrow. Maddie and I are doing a behind the scenes Nuke the House podcast once again. So we're going to be doing that live at 4 o'clock. Card Addicts here as always. Jake wants to know about some ladder plays. You're going to have to tune in for the live show there. Daniel's in the house.
Shout out to my guy, Dicka, dude. He's back.
He's here. Dicka, where did you go, dude? We've been looking for you for like the last 2 weeks. Where are you? Get your ass back in here.
He's back. I talked to him last week. He's back. So yeah, just to piggyback off what you said, I went back last night and looked. Last year, I made about 45 units betting the NFL pregame. This year, it has not been great through the first 3 weeks. I'm definitely down money betting pregame this year. But the one thing that I do better than 99.9% of people that bet on sports, and I don't even know why or how, I can identify a bad number in the in-game market better than just about anybody out there. And that's why we have absolutely fucking murked the in-game market through 3 weeks. But I got to get right pregame, Holden. I am not happy through the first 3 weeks.
Well, just keep slaying live, man. That's it should be nice for you to get some pre-flops, but we make it up in the live market, which is great. We do. We got Gary in the house. He'll be writing his baseball article tomorrow. Look what happened. Jake got the code yesterday and he signed up. So way to go, Jake. Welcome to the team, dude. You're going to have a great time. Jason Graham is here. We dipped our toe, then dove hard first last night. The water was warm. No, we took care of business last night. You did, Keg, and you won us a lot of money. Let's get to this next game, though. So you had some leans in the Bills-Jaguars game. Commanders at the Bengals. This is split between 7.5, depending on who you want to back. The total here is, I'm seeing a 45.5 at Sport Trade, 46.5 elsewhere. So you can kind of mess around with that total if you want to bet the over or the other or the under. Clelin Ferrell's out, pass rusher for Washington. That's a big one. And then Sheldon Rankins, another pass rusher for the Bengals. He's out in this game. So a couple of injuries to take a note of, but boy, Brian Robinson, Jaden Daniels, Austin Eckler, these are all guys I'm looking at. Coaching staff says they want to get the ball to McLaurin a little bit more. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then with the Bengals, I don't know what to think of the Bengals here, because at some point in time, we need to just look at how slow these guys get off to. And every single year, it's just been bad, man. The first 2 games have been bad. They played better last week against Kansas City, but I think it's a thing, Keg. Can you put that anywhere in your capping, the fact that they've really struggled early in the season, the Bengals have?
Historically, they do, for sure. A lot like Kansas City. But this year, man, that offensive line is a real problem for this team. They are not good. Obviously, they didn't have T. Higgins. He's back. He will play tonight. So here's where I'm at. I think that this is a good spot to buy low on Cincinnati. I think they're going to score points tonight. The offensive line is a concern for sure, but we're talking about the worst team in football right now in terms of defensive VPA. And we're also probably talking about the worst secondary in football. So I think that Burrow gets right tonight. I think he has a day. And I haven't decided if I'm going to bet the Cincinnati team total before the game starts or maybe try to get a better number live. But I think I'm going to be looking at the Cincinnati team total. And after the show today, I'm going to dig in the props while I'm filling out the game plans for the boys to try to find what we can get there. On the other side of the football, Jaden Daniels cashed once for us and then didn't in terms of rushing. His number's like 48.5. Do I think he can get there? I do. And I think I like that. See, when you first look at those Robinson props,
Yep.
you're like, those props, those numbers are too low. They don't make sense. But considering that the Bengals are probably going to go off as high as an 8-point favorite, you would think that they're probably playing from behind Washington for most of the game. And much like what happened with us with Zamir White, Robinson could get played right out of the game in terms of running the football. And I think that's the only reason why these numbers are as low as they are, but it's a concern. So I'm not sure if I'm going to target Washington props like we normally would. I might be looking at the Bengals props and might be targeting the Bengals team total.
So 2 plays that I kind of uncovered today, one on my own and then one in the Discord. The first one with T. Higgins being back, is Isavis going to really get a lot of work? I don't think so. You know, there's a number 3 wide receiver there. I get it. Now, Washington's been great against the tight end position. So, you know, maybe that opens something up for Isavis, but 25.5 yards, I'm looking at the under in that one. And I'm not going to give away the Eckler prop, but our guy Iowa in the Discord, who's one of the sharpest guys out there, he does shows with us. He's got an Eckler prop in the Discord. You got to be a member, but I really like his Eckler prop. So
yeah, I mean, if you look at the numbers that Eckler has put up the first 2 weeks, and then you consider the fact that they're probably playing from behind for most of the game, that tracks. Adam's bet tracks. I can get behind it.
He just posted in the chat too. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it, man. All right, so I'm tailing that play. Thank you, Adam. Again, if you want all the plays, get behind the paywall. We're going to start putting our free shows. They've just been too profitable on the island games. And at this point, we can't give you these many bets for free. Like last night, again, Mooney, Ladder, Rice, we're hitting him left and right. We just can't be giving it out for free anymore. So if it's something you're interested in, sign up for a free week. Those free shows are going to be either cut down where they're maybe a quarter or a half for the free broadcast. And then at halftime, we would make more bets and you'd have to be in premium. So again, sign up right now, nukethehouse.com, any plan. We will not charge you. You're going to have to re-up yourself, but use the code Nuke NFL, Nuke NFL, free week. You can get all of our picks. So Kegger, like button would be great. Do this. Maybe they'll listen to you here. Give a thumbs up, buddy. Give a double thumbs up. Double thumbs up. So a like button would be great. Oh, hey!
We just unlocked something new.
Whoa! What is going? I can't do that.
I got fireworks.
Only you can do that. This is what's going on.
Christ.
Winning bettors get fireworks. Guys that have to tail winning bettors that are sucky on their own don't get to get fireworks.
What's double peace sign? Is that something new?
Yeah, there's peace signs. There's all sorts of there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're unlocking shit today, man.
Just wait till you flip it off,
man. What's a peace sign and a thumbs up?
I don't think it's anything. It's balloons.
No, it's balloons.
Yeah, you want to try that middle finger?
I got celebrations now, man.
God, I'm so happy Hurricane Dick is back. I really am. I missed it. I love that guy. Absolutely love that guy. Glad you're back. God's masterpiece is here. Wrench. Any chance we see Nip tonight? What the hell does that mean?
How come Gary and Johnny don't have wrenches in our chat? They should.
Yeah, they should. I'm with you. So are we done breaking these games down? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's basically where we're at. I haven't made a bet yet.
Yeah.
I'll probably have a bet or two for our subscribers. before we go live. But the majority of my action will be live.
Yeah, that's what it was. Card addict. You're supposed to take your shirt off last night because we won so much money.
I did take my shirt off last night.
That was
Thank
a hoodie.
you.
You took off a hoodie. You didn't take off your shirt.
Yep. Came off though, right?
No, the hoodie came off. It wasn't the shirt didn't come off. You said you take off your shirt. The hoodie did not. The hoodie doesn't count. But I didn't twerk, so there you go. We both made
Thank God for that.
the viewers very happy. Well, I don't know, man. You know we've hit a big bet when I start.
Although I will tell you that my sister was a big fan of you twerking.
I'm sure she was.
So there's that.
Is she single?
She is.
Yeah, well,
she is not your type.
I'm about to get married, so sorry, but I'm glad she liked seeing me twerk. Let's talk about some of the things that happened this weekend. There was a lot of interesting stuff that went down, and we're going to start with the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. Boy, if we get to 325 and 350, forget about it. Like
the site's closed and I'm retired.
I'm up so many units, but he still won us a little money yesterday. 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like he completed as many passes of 10 plus air yards in the first half as Bryce Young did in weeks 1 and 2. Actually, he only did 5 of them. So they're getting the ball downfield now. Like, can we trust the Panthers a little bit, or is this just an aberration?
I think we could trust them more than we could. What an epically bad look for Bryce Young. Holy Christ.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton basically comes off the couch and throws for 322. I mean, or 320. That's bad, bro. That's bad. And if Andy Dalton would have got 5 more yards, we would have had a 20-unit day, probably.
How many times have we just come up on these gigantic numbers climbing ladders? 4 or 5, half a yard short.
Just the Saquon, Bijan, and
Shakir.
Right, but I'm saying just those 3.
Yeah.
10 yards combined for 20 units.
Oh. We're going to get those. And we were still profitable.
Yeah, we're still crushing. I'm up 52 units in September.
Yeah. But like I say, everybody, you're likely not going to get up 52 units, but 30 units ain't bad. 35 units ain't bad just because he's moving lines. Like you got a Andy Dalton at 10-1 yesterday at 325. Yeah. I missed it and got it like 4-1 and it still didn't cash, but don't get frustrated if you don't hit the same numbers that Keg gets. You're going to get a lot of them the same. Some you won't. And then some you'll get a better number just because stuff changes. All right, let's move on to our next game that I want to discuss with you. Actually, it's the same game. Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce basically alluded that some of his players quit in the fourth quarter, which is really damning on a team. And that makes me concerned. I never like to see a team quit, especially against the Carolina Panthers. Are we down on the Raiders, or was this an aberration?
I'll tell you, man, like it's not a good look for Pierce. Going after week 2, he was rated the worst coach in football in terms of decision making through 2 weeks. And now you add this into the mix with the issues in the locker room. Raiders are down bad right now. And the fact that they're actually considering going back to Aiden O'Connell tells you everything you need to know. The Raiders are a sell right now in a big, big way. Unless you're back in Brock Bowers. And even he let us down yesterday.
Yeah. He's been non-existent. Maybe O'Connell can get him the ball. Let's move on to the Vikings. Their offense, getting all the love. But how about their defense under Brian Flores? Just completely crushing CJ Stroud yesterday. He went 20 of 31 for 215 yards. Zach Owen from VSiN was on my Nuke the Prop show on Friday, and he said, it's going to be uncomfortable, but I'm betting his under. Well, guess what? The under, I mean, it wasn't even close to going over. So I really like what the Vikings are doing defensively. Just real quick, I know people want to bet Sam Darnold for MVP. I think the better market is in the comeback player of the year market because
he doesn't qualify. He wouldn't win the award.
Why? Because he sucked.
There are parameters, though.
They're given a number. It's 7-1.
That's just because they're thieves.
Oh, those bastards. They almost got me. DeMar Hamlin's still in the mix, but Aaron Rodgers is in the lead. Basically even money. You can get a +20.
You
around
had
the
to bring up
industry.
this game, Holden.
What game?
Like there were a lot of games on the board to talk about today. You know what I mean?
What's your issue?
It's the you know what my issue is, man.
I don't remember. I'm not even kidding you.
The Minnesota Vikings put me in a fucking blender.
Oh,
okay. That's my issue.
Oh, it's Justin Jefferson. Dude, he climbed the ladder.
Oh, don't even get me going with
Dude,
you.
He hurt his
Stay
finger.
off my show Sunday from 1 to 7, bro. All right?
What?
The JJ props. Oh, but that's not even what I'm talking about. Forget about you. Let me focus on Johnny.
Oh, you're blaming me still for that?
Yeah, I'm definitely blaming you.
Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows it?
Let me focus on Johnny for a second.
Okay, please.
Johnny put me in a legitimate blender yesterday. Listen, man, I thought the Minnesota Vikings were going to be an 8-win team. I had faith in them. I thought that they were a good club, but I don't like Sam Darnold. I'm not high on him.
Yeah.
Listen, the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff is about as legit as it gets. First of all, they might be one of only 2 teams currently. Actually, no, they're one of 3 teams currently, and they just beat one of them that are in the top 10 in both EPA, offensive and defensive stats, right? What the Minnesota head coach has done with Sam Darnold through 3 weeks is incredible. I mean, he looks like a completely different guy, and that defense is super legit. They're a top 5 defense right now in terms of how they're playing, no doubt. I still don't know what to make of them because I'm not high on Sam Darnold. But I'm starting to think that they're for real. But I'm not quite there yet. But to go on, I said it yesterday. If the Houston Texans are for real, they need to go on the road as barely a 1-point favorite, and they need to handle business. And they got ran out of the fucking building.
Yep.
I mean, it was pathetic. They cost us money. In the end, I made 2.5 units in that game because we tied NASCAR to Nico 60 plus, and he just got there. But I should have made a lot more in that game. But credit to the Minnesota Vikings. They seem legit, man. They seem legit.
I tied that Nico bet up too with NASCAR. So I was happy to see him get the backdoor cover there late in that game. A couple other things to discuss here. I got a couple notes for you. The Niners were 50-0 under Kyle Shanahan when they were up by 14 points in the second half.
Wow.
How has Shanahan been up by 14 points in the second half 50 times? That doesn't even make sense. But
they're a wagon. That makes sense, doesn't it?
The Rams were down 14 to the Niners. I actually hit the Rams at plus 240 once they got the ball back late and they went in and won.
Did you see the win probability before that play?
I mean, it was probably like
99.9%, I think.
Yeah, that's not good. Kyron still found the end zone 3 times, Kyron Williams, but that was a masterpiece. And you had McVay run a fake punt on he needed like 13 yards or something like that. They got a fake punt that went and they just came back. I'm such a fan of Sean McVay because without Puka and Kupp, they still went out there. Tutu Atwell was tearing things up. DeMarcus Robinson was tearing things up. These guys got the win.
He's just an incredible head coach. I mean, both of those guys are just incredible. But I mean, I'll tell you, Iowa really let me down because I laid $1.80 on this team to win 11 games. And here we are sitting after 2 weeks, 1-2. This is and the only team they beat is my beloved New York Jets. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was rough.
I can't blame everybody's going to shit on Purdy because they're 1-2.
He was great.
Right.
He was great yesterday. And Iowa said it. Ronnie Bell seals the game if the ball doesn't bounce out of his hands for the trillionth time.
100%. Like, it's not Purdy. Like, yes, the weapons aren't there right now, and the record's not there right now, but it's not Purdy. I still think San Fran is fine. They'll roll off 7 straight wins once they get their pieces back. All will be well in the world. I think they're fine. Trent Williams, though, did not look great. Did not look great in yesterday's game. You're on mute, buddy. You're still on mute. And you're still on mute.
I had such a good stat too. I'm going to say it again. So you've got Jennings that went off, but Ayuk is averaging 2.1 yards of separation. That's the third worst in the NFL. And Trent Williams is fat. And what happened? Both of those guys did not do anything in the offseason or in training camp.
Correct.
Or in the preseason. So
correct.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Oh, Overtime's got a good question. Is this channel live on Sundays? If yes, what time? Are we live on Sundays?
I think we're live for every NFL game of the year.
Every freaking NFL game of the year. So here's what you do, Overtime, and anybody else. We're giving you a free week so you can get all the pre-flop plays. And we are behind the paywall from 1 till what, like 7:30. So the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games are premium in-game betting. We're giving you a week. Just test it out. Worst comes to worst, you don't like it, you leave. Probably going to stick around at the very least. Go to nukethehouse.com. Nukethehouse.com. Click on subscribe. When these are free shows like this, I'm just going to plug the hell out of the site. You're not going to get this in the premium shows, but I'm going to plug the hell out of the site. Do it. Sign up. Free week Overtime. Nuke NFL. Nuke NFL. You get a free week. And then you'll probably sign up because it's totally awesome.
And if you sign up for the free trial, make sure that you link your account on the website to our Discord, because you have to be in our Discord.
Yeah.
In the event that you can't watch a show, you'll be able to get all the in-game play notifications.
Yeah, I wish I had my phone right now, because that's the other selling point here. You don't have to watch the games. Let's say you're out at a bar just hanging out with someone. You'll get it right to your phone. You'll get the bets right to your phone. We send it out real-time in-game notifications.
But like Holden always says, if you want all the money, got to put in a little work, and you got to come watch the shows when you can, because that's when you'll definitely do the best.
Just a little work, not even that much. Like, even if you can't. But again, let's say you don't watch NASCAR, you'll get live betting notifications. Just bet everything that they're giving so that you give yourself the best chance to win. Because again, this place is different than every other place out there. Every other place is giving you minus 110s, minus 140s, minus 150s. This is not how we win. We're trying to actually nuke the house, beat the books. And to do that, you might go 3-7 with your bets, but we're betting 400s, 600 plus 800, 10-1s. And that is the way we're beating the books. It's not just your normal stuff. So Nuke NFL.
I've only won 35% of my bets in the month of September, and we're plus 52 units. So I mean, we bet a very different way. My average line this month is probably around 4 or 5 to 1.
Yeah, nobody wants to lose 70% of their bets, but the 30% that we win, I mean, it's like winning 70% of your bets.
Yep,
fascinating, absolutely fascinating how this works. So. Be patient and just hang in there. So I want to talk about a couple other things here, Keg. Malik Neighbors, first player in NFL history with 20 catches and 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games. The dude had 8 catches for 78 and 2 touchdowns. He's getting over 30% of the targets from Daniel Jones. And listen, Odell Beckham, I remember his rookie season because I picked him up in a high stakes league off the waiver wires, and he helped me out big time, winning a little money there. Beckham had that great catch. I think Neighbors is having a better rookie year, A, because he started off on the team, not injured, and B, this guy's just special. Like, he is now the favorite for the offensive rookie of the year for a reason.
Yeah, he's been incredible. And we said it before the season started. Danny Dimes has one weapon on that team. Now that Saquon was gone, he had one weapon. It was Neighbors, and his usage rate and his target share was going to be absurd. And through 3 weeks, it is absurd. So, exactly what we expected. they're going to start to set that number at a place where we're probably not going to be able to take advantage of it soon. But yeah, he's been a stud. Very surprising win by the New York Football Giants to me yesterday, because I really thought that the Browns were the side in that game. I never pulled the trigger. I never bet them, but I thought after watching what Minnesota did to that team, I thought the Browns would be able to do the same. And the Cleveland Browns, I guess, are not the Minnesota Vikings.
Nope, they are not. They are not. Let's talk Chargers Steelers for a second. Ugly game. A lot of us were on the under. That cashed pretty easily. They had -5 yards in the second half. -5 yards. Now I get that Herbert got hurt, but that team was a disaster. And if Harbaugh doesn't get Herbert back for an extended, like if he misses a couple of games, that team is screwed. Now on the other side, you got the Steelers, who you've been saying just beating the drums, maybe the best defense in the National Football League. They were spectacular last week. With that being said, though, they've got the Colts coming up this week, and Keg put out his first week 4 play. Again, you got to be a subscriber. NukeTheHouse.com. Nuke NFL is the code when you sign up. But let's talk about this for a second. The Chargers, I think they got some issues. I really like their team with Herbert. They might not have him. He screwed up his ankle again. And then the Steelers, Justin Fields, not turning the ball over a ton. He's being efficient. They run the football and they play defense. And they got one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah, they finally had some offense too. They finally he threw for 250. He threw a touchdown. He ran in a touchdown. The first 2 weeks, he had only had one offensive touchdown, this team. And they really do look like the best team in the league defensively through 3 weeks. My only regret in terms of not making a bet on a side yesterday was not taking the Steelers at -2.5, because we said it. We thought they were the side. I never pulled the trigger on them, and I should have. I'm high on the Steelers. Like, as long as this kid could be a decent game manager, that defense is always going to keep them in the game. Always. Chargers are in trouble. If Herbert really goes down for an extended period of time, they're not going to win many football games. The one thing I will say though, Holden, like defensively, they're pretty good. They've been playing really well, but they haven't really played anybody worth their salt either. So I think the Chargers are basically a wait and see based off Herbert's health moving forward. And yeah, I'm high on the Steelers, man.
Hey, by the way, Iowa, you just moved the Eckler line. It's up to 18.5. Is it worth a bet at 18.5? Please let me know in the chat. I'd appreciate it. Like button would be great. If you have not already, make sure you go to Nuke the House on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us. So then turn on the notifications. You get all of our shows. You'll know when we're on. So that is very, very good. Last game I want to discuss from yesterday, the Cowboys gave up a bajillion yards on the ground. Derrick Henry just ate I think he had 125. Lamar was running.
If you rewind the tape, I said this on the Wednesday show. This was going to happen.
274 yards they gained on the ground against Dallas.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Two things. First of all, Dallas, now they got the Giants coming up on Thursday, and they should get the win in that game. But, boy, they are having some issues stopping the run. And then on the other side, the Ravens can't hold on to a lead, man. The Dallas almost came back and won that game yesterday, and it's constant. They blew the lead to the Chiefs, right? They had a lead last week. They blew it, and now you got another game with Dallas. I still think the Ravens are going to be fine at 1-2. They were the desperate team, but they got to do something about this. There's now a history going back a couple of years where they can't hold these leads.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If Mike McDonald's the defensive coordinator of the team,
yeah,
do they even remotely come back in that game?
No.
Exactly.
But they did have some issues under him too. They did.
Yeah. Listen, so thank you for bringing it up. And I'm an idiot because I didn't take advantage of it. But on the Wednesday show, I said, hey, man, and if you go read the game plan right now on the website, you will see I said the Cowboys gave up 200 rushing yards to the Saints. Baltimore is going to destroy this team on the ground. And that is exactly what they did. Cowboys' run defense is terrible. Does not look good. They've given up almost as many yards, maybe even more now, than Carolina through 3 weeks. I have to check that. But yeah, they're in trouble. I thought the game should be a pick. I think it went off. They were +1. They were not the better team in that football game for 3 quarters. They started to get right. But to be honest, I'm not high on either team. The Ravens don't look as good as I thought they would. They're very lucky right now that Cincinnati has been struggling. And the Cowboys might be the 3rd best team in the division. Like if Jaden Daniels could get right, they might be the 3rd best team in the division.
Oof.
So yeah, I'm not high on Dallas. They have problems on defense, and they only have one legitimate weapon. And if you could take that one weapon out of the game, they can't do anything.
All right, buddy. I think that's going to wrap it up. So again, if you want that free trial, nukethehouse.com, sign up for a plan. Doesn't matter. We're not going to charge you. You're going to want to renew, but use the code Nuke NFL, NUKENFL. We'll be live tonight. Again, we got a double header. So you'll be live, just a little before 7:30, because I think Maddie wants to get out some first touchdown props tonight. That'll be cool. Yeah. So we are going to be live. What up, Kenny Peacock? Good to see you show up. Go
Meyer,
back to the start of the show.
Hopefully, Iowa, if you're around, let me know. Hop on with me.
Okay. Very good. Just looking forward to that. I can't wait to do the show tonight and get home just in time. All right, pal. Let's go have a good night tonight. Once again, another Island game. You can throw the graphic up. Hit the like button on the way out. We would really, really appreciate it. For Keg, I'm Kush. Let's go nuke the house.